Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future for April 2023, answering the question, what does Scorpio need to know right now? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading as well as the overall theme for the reading. I'll be diving into the tarot deck that I already have shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Right, Scorpio. This is about, I feel like this is, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and just look at what we're looking at here. So your recent past, you have higher ground with make your decision. You know, this higher ground card, it's been coming out a lot this week in this new deck that I have. And it really is, it really speaks of expanding your perception and looking at your perception from a higher perspective. If you just look at what is immediately surrounding you, you're going to miss a lot. But the higher you can get, the more that you can see that there's so much more to the story. It's kind of like that 30,000 foot view. Now, I feel like you're having a hard time with some sort of decision here. There's some sort of decision that needs to be made. And I feel like you know what that decision is. But it feels like there's like a ton of reasons why you're having like a trouble with this decision in a way. I don't know what that is yet, but in your immediate future, and we'll get there, it says the big picture with ideal course of action, which honestly is very similar to this. So I feel like this whole reading is about shifting your perspective to make the best decision for you. Now, in your current energy, you have intuition and assurance. The assurance that you're looking for, that you're making the right decision, does not lie in a tarot reading. It does not lie in advice from a friend. It does not lie in anything outside of you. It lies in your intuition. Your intuition knows what the best course of action is, but I feel like for some reason you're having a hard time tapping into that. Because in a way, I almost feel like the decision that needs to be made is actually a very easy decision from the outside looking in. But for some reason, you specifically are having a hard time from within when it comes to making this decision. And then you have immediate future, like I said, being ideal course of action with the big picture. So I feel like there's something keeping you from viewing things from like that 30,000 foot view to be able to make the right decision, because it's basically saying the ideal course of action isn't a decision that's going to lie with your immediate surroundings. It's like there's more to the story that needs to be uncovered in order for you to make this decision. Now, I feel like this is about a decision that is going to lead to some level of happiness and abundance for you. But for some reason, I feel like it's a decision between not chasing after your abundance, not necessarily chasing, I don't want to say that, but not taking steps towards your abundance, and taking steps towards your abundance, because you have breath and friction here. So what you're actually dealing with right now is resistance to your abundance. Now, resistance can look like decisions like this that are kind of going to be those hard ones that make you kind of really think about, okay, what's best for me instead of what feels the safest, right? So I feel like this definitely has to do with something definitely has to do with some sort of decision here. But let's start by looking at your recent past, Scorpio. Let's see what you are dealing with in your recent past. You have make a decision with higher ground. It says recent past for Scorpio. Recent past for Scorpio, please, with make a decision and higher ground. Your past is blocking you. This feels like a decision between your past and your future. Just right off the bat, you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the Six of Cups in reverse. Because it's almost like, this feels like, are you going to repeat a cycle, or are you going to allow a cycle to close? But let me get more here. Because this is like, there's the Sun with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So you're wanting this Sun. You're wanting this happiness, this abundance, but there's limiting beliefs that are keeping you from that, and ultimately are keeping you in sabotaging it, especially in your recent past. So I feel like it's actually something from your past is coming back, and it's not to see if you will choose it. It's to see if you will do something different this time. This is making a different decision this time. But specifically in your recent past, I feel like you were dealing with like, sorry, I jumped ahead in that. In your recent past, you were specifically dealing with limiting beliefs to your happiness. Sabotage. There was sabotaging, self-sabotage going on in your recent past here, Scorpio. Let's get more. Recent past for Scorpio. But that's okay. We all do that. Recent past for Scorpio. And if you do feel like you've sabotaged something, please understand that does not mean that you have lost anything or that there will never be an opportunity for you to ever be happy again. That is not true. When we sabotage something, it's because there's a lesson we need to learn there to make sure we don't sabotage our abundance that's meant for us whenever it does appear into our life. So you have the Six of Swords with the Magician in reverse. There's something that you're needing to move on from, to move forward from. But you're having trouble moving into the future because you're afraid that your happiness exists in the past. You're afraid that nothing better is ever going to manifest for you. And so there's almost this energy of like trying to hold on to the past instead of trying to move forward to the future. Especially in your recent past. It's like holding on to something that that didn't serve you because you're afraid that nothing will ever be better. Just because something was the best you ever had doesn't mean that's as good as it gets. Recent past for Scorpio, clarifying, make a decision with higher ground. Recent past for Scorpio, please. The Emperor with the Page of Cups. You're receiving messages about taking action. I don't know if that's toward or away from something. It could be both. But there's some sort of action that needs to be taken. The course of action, that makes sense. But it's almost like, but before you take that action, before you take that step, there's a perspective shift that's needed. It's like, right, if you would have made the decision in your recent past, you would have made the wrong choice for yourself. But because of what you've been through, you're shifting your perspective so that you can make the right choice for yourself. And maybe you did make the wrong choice in the past. And this is about making sure you don't do that again. Because, yeah, you've been receiving guidance here about what you should do. Intuitive guidance, which is why you have intuition and assurance. But it's almost like you're still very unsure about the right move for you. Let's see, current energy for Scorpio, clarifying intuition and assurance. You're just facing resistance right now. There's a book by Gabby Bernstein called Judgment Detox. And it talks all about, there's a part of it that talks all about our resistance to love, our resistance to the universe's guidance, our resistance to our own happiness, and our tendency to sabotage because it's familiar. And I feel like that book's coming through. So if that's of any interest to you. All right, current energy here for Scorpio, of intuition and assurance. Current energy for Scorpio. You're needing to seriously reevaluate. You have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Temperance, and the Ten of Cups. You're needing to seriously reevaluate what you're wanting here for your long-term abundance. Because I feel like what you were investing in, especially in your past, I don't think it's actually what you wanted. It might be what you thought you wanted because it was as good as it's ever been for you. But it wasn't as good as it gets. And that's what you're struggling with now, is it's like, you're like, well, that was as good as it's ever been. And it's like, but walking away from as good as it's ever been will open up to as good as it can get, right? Don't limit your experience to what you've experienced. Don't limit the possibility to only what you've experienced, because that'll keep you trapped in repeating and experiencing the same thing over and over again instead of opening up to the possibilities that the universe has in store for you. Current energy for Scorpio, clarifying intuition and assurance. So there's some reevaluate what you've been investing in. Current energy for Scorpio, intuition and assurance. Your past, man. Your past is all over this reading. And it's like your past is keeping you from what aligns with you. Because you're dealing with a lack of hope right now. Like, I feel like you don't have any hope that things are ever going to be better than they were. I cannot tell you how much of a lie that is, that you've been telling yourself, that it's never going to be as good as it was. And that's a really big, like, that's a really big theme in this reading. Like, I'm afraid I'm never gonna be as happy as I was, or it's never gonna be as good as I was. What is meant for you will never pass you. And you do not need to worry about that. You may need to heal from it still, but that doesn't mean that you need to think that your happiness is behind you, that the best is come and gone, because it's not true. It's not true. I promise, Scorpio, that's not true. Current energy for Scorpio, clarifying intuition and assurance. Your intuition is also trying to provide you, it's like your intuition is trying to provide you with reassurance that everything's going to be okay. But you're believing your emotions and your thoughts over your intuition, which is fine. That's totally normal. But there's this need to kind of break out of believing everything you think, right? Because that'll keep you stuck. Again, if your thoughts are going to be patterns based on your experiences, you're going to constantly be experiencing the same experiences. Current energy for Scorpio. I don't know why, but flamingos are really coming in through this reading. I've been staring at these flamingos right here, and then I looked over at this intuition card and I saw a flamingo right there. There's none in this one, I don't think. Is there? No. But if that means something to you, I don't know, you can also look it up, because I often do that. When I see like something over and over again, I like Google it and then ask for guidance to the right, what it meant for me, what it's telling me. All right, current energy for Scorpio, clarifying intuition and assurance. But what is this action you're needing to take? Current energy. Oh, no. This is about shifting your perspective, not just on what you want, but on, oh my gosh, happiness in general. Because see, the Temperance, the Two of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Ten of Cups, we've seen this Hierophant and Ten of Cups already, because this is talking about your emotional fulfillment. Not necessarily a material fulfillment. This is talking about you feeling happy, like having that happiness, having that internal abundance. Okay. Right now, you are allowing your emotions to completely guide the way for you. And you have to remember that your emotions are not there for you to give power to them, because your emotions, and I'm looking at these cups, like these cups are really coming through right here, both the Two of Cups here and then the two cups that she's holding here. So these cups are really coming through. That's why I'm feeling this. And then you have this Ten of Cups right here. It's like you're allowing what you feel to be the dominant driving force of your decisions. And that will always get you into trouble. You have to learn not to allow your emotions to dictate your decisions, because if you do, you're always going to end up being a product of your experiences. Because your emotions, it's not that you shouldn't feel them. In fact, it's the opposite. It's that you should feel them without believing them. Because there's a part of you, if you're feeling lonely or sad or afraid or whatever the case is, it's almost like you feel this emotion and you're like, okay, this is a truth. And this means that I should now make a decision based on this truth that I'm currently feeling in this moment. But then you'll find, and it's something like, and I used to experience this a lot, where like I would make a lot of really self-sabotaging decisions and in moments of heightened emotion. And then once I calmed down, I'd look back and I'd be like, probably shouldn't have done those things. And I'm not necessarily saying that's exactly what it is, but your emotions, they will come and they will go. They move like waves. And if in the moment of experience heightening emotion, you believe it and you act on it, that is typically where you sabotage. And there's this need to realize that your emotions are not telling you a truth. They're not telling you anything real about your reality. They're giving you insight into how your brain works and what it is that's needing to be released from your body at that moment. They are not a truth and they are not a lie. They just are. And that's coming through really big here, because this is why your perspective, it needs to shift pretty drastically, because it needs to go from realizing that you are not what you feel, you are what you want to experience. And then that will allow you to make decisions based on what you want to experience instead of what you have been experiencing. Hope that makes sense. Current energy for Scorpio. I hope I didn't lose anyone there. Because I know that's kind of not always the truth that people want to hear, you know, about their emotions. Current energy for Scorpio, please. Current energy for Scorpio. Scorpio, you don't speak to yourself very kindly. King of Swords in reverse. This is not somebody else, this is you. You don't speak to yourself very kindly. I feel like you have a tendency to talk down about yourself or to talk bad about yourself when you look in the mirror. And that, I don't think you realize, is greatly affecting what you've been accepting into your life, because you've been actively validating negative thoughts about yourself through self-talk. And that keeps you, and that plays into that emotion, because our emotion is some of the most powerful energy that we have. And, you know, when we give our emotion and act on emotion that is negative, we do create more negative experiences in our life. When we act on emotion that is positive, like gratitude and abundance mentalities, well, then we create more of that abundance into our life. Now, we have to retrain our brain to think in alignment with where we want to go. We can't just, you know, hope that things get better and cross our fingers. You know, we have to really truly we have to really truly try to retrain our brain. I don't know why, but I am feeling on some level, you know, some people think that this can block intuition, but it is not for me. I'm looking at flamingo spiritually, because it will not stop coming through for me. I just keep coming right back to it. Let me see. Oh, I meant to do. So what I usually do is flamingo spiritual meaning. Bear with me, please. Flamingo symbolize and meaning include beauty, balance, potential. Potential, that's the word. You are completely unaware of your own potential. That is why, okay, that's why you're needing to reevaluate what you're investing in, because you've been investing in a very small-minded, not that you are small-minded, but small-minded view of what you think you are capable of, what you think is possible for you. It's the potential. That's why you're needing to widen your perspective. That's why you're needing to look at things from a bigger view, because you are literally selling yourself short here. And the universe is like, hey, Scorpio, snap out of it. Huh. All right, immediate future for Scorpio, clarifying ideal course of action in the big picture. I really, really liked that. Immediate future for Scorpio, clarifying ideal course of action in the big picture. These cards are so mesmerizing. There's so many things in them. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. It's my nature's whispers, Nick. Immediate future for Scorpio. The Ace of Wands in reverse. You, Scorpio, so you're pursuing things that don't make you feel passionate, that don't make you feel good, that don't make you feel alive or excited or happy even. And it's led to a lot of burnout for you. But it's almost like you don't see your own potential. That's why it's like you've been selling yourself so short. You've been taking action towards things that don't make you feel good. It's almost like settling for what you know doesn't make you happy because you're afraid that that's as good as it's gonna get. It's like, but no, it's not true. Right, immediate future for Scorpio. Immediate future for Scorpio, please. Immediate future for Scorpio. This is for Scorpio's immediate future. Oh my goodness, this is a very specific message, it feels like. Your intuition wants you to step out of your comfort zone. But you haven't been listening to it. You have the High Priestess in reverse of the Three of Wands. Your intuition wants you to take steps out of your comfort zone here. But there's a part of you that's really afraid to do that. Let's see if we can get more on this Three of Wands. In what way should Scorpio focus on stepping out of their comfort zone? Clarifying this Three of Wands. That didn't answer the question. You have the Ace of Swords in reverse of the Wheel of Fortune. It's like you're not seeing that these steps out of your comfort zone is what is going to create, or what are going to create the positive changes that you've been looking for. You've been waiting for things to change. You've been wanting things to change, and you've been getting very, very frustrated that they haven't. But the thing is that you're needing to make the changes happen by taking certain steps out of your comfort zone. And those changes are going to be so much better than what you're currently experiencing or what you experienced in the past. Immediate future for Scorpio, clarifying the ideal course of action in the big picture, but it's almost like you've got to zoom out your perspective here. Immediate future for Scorpio. Yeah, there's that Five of Swords and the Chariot in reverse. Because again, remember, you're looking for this sun. You're looking for this abundance, this happiness here, but you don't trust the universe. You have the Five of Swords with the Chariot in reverse. The thing that's keeping it from moving forward, the thing that's keeping you from moving forward to this happiness is this you against the world mentality, this belief that the universe doesn't have your back when pursuing things that you want. And sometimes that means moving away from things that don't serve you. But for some reason, you're very stuck in things that don't serve you. It's things from your past. It's like, it might have been as good as it's gotten for you, but it's not as good as it gets. And that's the biggest thing that's needing to be uncovered here. This is not as good as it gets. All right. I am going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages and dive into the advice. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. Bye, Scorpio.